It's a bright Wednesday here on Jasiri, the middle of the week, where we catch up. You know, we catch our breath, reset, and dive into conversations that matter to you. Wednesday vibes are all about momentum and a little energy from the start. A dash of inspiration and, of course, plenty of insight to carry you through the rest of the week. Today, we're packing up our conversation on tax. Yes, we had it last week, and I know a lot of you had questions, and you know, it just wasn't finished. So we are going to continue. So if you have questions, anything you want us to ask, you better do very well to have us saved, our number saved on your phone so that you can send us a WhatsApp. So we're going to be trying to get you answers, you know, on things that I've heard people talk about. Oh, my salary, my small business, everyday transaction. Somebody, I sent some money to someone today and I forgot to put narration. The person called me back. I said, I didn't put narration. I'm like, what? It's not a problem, but you know, all this we're going to answer. But first.
It was on Saturday, 17th of January, when tragedy struck Dorayi Chiranchi Quarters in Kano, when Fatima Abubakar and her 6 children were brutally murdered in their home. And now, calls are growing for the killers to be put to death. The Emir of Kano, Khalifa Muhammadu Sanusi II, has now added his voice to calls for capital punishment for the 3 suspects involved in the brutal killing of 35-year-old Fatima Abubakar and her 6 children in Kano State, warning that sparing murders of innocent people would only fuel more violence. And just before this, the father of the principal suspect in the case, Malam Owalu, had asked for the speedy trial and execution of his son by the state government, saying that he thought his son was behind another killing last month, I beg your pardon. The suspects have been identified as Umar Owalu, 23 years old, Isiaku Yakubu, aka Chebe, 40 years old, and Yakubu Abdulaziz, aka Wawo, 21 years old.
Now, according to the Kano State Police Command, unknown assailants allegedly broke into Abubakar's residence around 12:10 p.m. That's in the afternoon, attacked the victims with dangerous weapons and left all of them with fatal injuries. The police said a distress call was received shortly after the attack and operatives were immediately deployed to the scene. Malam Awalu said, and I quote, "I'm quite sure that Umar has been committing several crimes of which we were unaware. Now that he has been arrested, he should be punished accordingly. I do not want the government or the security agencies to delay his trial. If he is allowed to remain in prison, some politicians may intervene to have him paroled, and that would not be good for our society," end quote. Police revealed that Umar Awalu, alleged to be the leader of the syndicate and a nephew of the deceased, confessed to orchestrating the attack. They said that during interrogation, he further admitted that the syndicate had been involved in several other violent attacks in the recent past, including the killing and burning of 2 housewives at Tudunyola Quarters. Now, Nigerians have had a lot to say about this case. Let's take a look at the reactions. I am heartbroken. This is coming from former Vice President Abubakar Atiku. I'm heartbroken by the gruesome killing of a mother and her 6 children in Dorayi Chiranchi Kano. The senseless violence against innocent Nigerians is unacceptable. My thoughts and prayers are with the grieving family and community. It is either the so-called marching orders to the security agencies are not being actioned, or it is merely political talk. Some security agencies, I beg your pardon, security agencies are charged to swiftly bring the perpetrators to justice and for decisive actions to protect every Nigerian from such brutality. We must end the culture of violence and ensure safety for all. Signed, AA. This doesn't still make him a good father, though. He failed in his primary assignments given to him by God. He should also be held responsible, except if he had reported his son's bad attitude to the police prior to this incident and the police did nothing about it. Heartbreaking all around. 7 lives gone, families destroyed. Justice needs to be both thorough and fair. Due process isn't about protecting the guilty. It's about ensuring we get it right for the victims and their families. The best judgment should be sentenced to death by hanging slowly and with every bit of pain to teach others a lesson. No excuses, no justification can cover such brutality. Anyone responsible for destroying innocent lives must face the full weight of the law. Justice delayed would be justice denied to the victims. The case should be taken to Sharia courts. He who kills unjustly should be killed in same manner without delay. This is horrifying and deeply troubling. The ease with which human lives are taken today reflects a troubling collapse of moral restraints in our society. When life becomes cheap, the society must ask itself, what values are we truly cultivating? What moral-centered policies can arrest this dangerous decline? And that's the last comment there. Yes.
This is really a lot. People who are blaming the father, I know that, yeah, but sometimes you have to look at it as parents. You can raise a child the best way you know how to raise a child, and the child still decides to go left. It's not that the parents didn't try the best. It's not because the man probably had known that this child, the way you know how parents talk, the way you are going, you better be careful. You will join bad company, and bad company will lead you in places, and all of that. And probably he had heard all of that and just wanted to go out, and probably authority, probably power. What is it you're looking for? I have no idea. Now, when he mentions the syndicate, though, and I'm sure that is worrying for his family members. If you're going about and you're killing them one after the other, it's worrying for your family members. Now your father said, just carry him and go. Anything you do with him is fine by me. Maybe the man didn't report earlier because he thought, this is a boy who is swift with the cutlass, with machetes, with everything.
He might just be suspecting. He might not have maybe serious evidence. But there's a way something is going on in this person's life.
You will know.
And the moral decadence, and I would when I read the story in the middle of the night, I didn't sleep. After the story was posted on our group and I just looked at it, trust me, sleep just left me.
I saw it.
And I'm wondering that drugs, if you check very well, the men in the north, the prevalence of drugs that, not just if it's drug abuse, the one that just destroys their mind almost immediately. Yeah. Because you hear some of the terrible things that they abuse and drugs. This one is just going to totally erode your mentality. You probably will not be able to even know the difference between right and wrong. So for you to be able to enter somebody's house in broad daylight,
not somebody's house, your aunt's house, your relative,
and it wasn't like they shot them with guns and know that
bludgeoning people, your children that you know,
bludgeoning. That's the word. You bludgeon.
The cries.
And this, I think it hurts more because this is somebody the family knows. They know.
The people just have opened the door for my uncle.
Yeah. Why do you have to break in?
Come inside.
Why do you have to break in?
I don't know if we have the picture of the family because it's important to see what was lost.
So they're young. Even the lady is quite young,
very beautiful.
Little children.
So what's the common denominator in all these killings? Before, so apparently last month he had been involved in and I don't understand the swiftness to which he confessed. Yes. If you confess that swiftly, why? Is it that things are weighing heavily on you?
Maybe.
Because whether you like it or not, he's a boy, he's 21. You understand?
So, I was saying before the break that what is a 40-year-old man? Because again, the age of the suspects, Umar is 23, Isaku is 40, and Yakubu is 21. What is a 40-year-old man doing in the company of two 20-year-olds? And they literally just became, they're still, while legally they're adults, that thing I say about the brain forming, they're still just where they are. That's one. But he has said, it's Umar Awalu who's said to be the ringleader. You asked about a common denominator. The other two violent crimes were him burning two housewives. So I want to say that there might be a connection to an issue with women, rather, because he apparently goes after, or the syndicate was going after, sometimes women. We don't know majority because we don't know what other crimes they've been associated with. The two that we have, or the three right now that we have, all involve women. So his aunt and two other women in another place in Kano. But I also want us to talk about this. So it's interesting for me to have the Emir come out and say that he also supports the death penalty. And I went to look at it. While we know that Kano hands out death penalties almost like somebody's handing out candy, you know. Kano State frequently passes out death penalties with recent convictions in 2025 and one also in 2020 for blasphemy. Actual executions in the state are rare, because even with a death penalty from a sentence or from a court, you need gubernatorial, you need the governor to sign off on the decree. And so it's not just a Kano conversation I want us to expand to. Do Nigerians even still support the death penalty?
It's interesting because people are calling for it. In this case,
you're calling for it, but do you know how many people are on death row in Nigeria? But what would I say? Administration after administration refuses to sign for the death penalty or the death sentence to be gone, to be executed, and you have people stuck on death row. So people are saying, if our appetite for the death penalty has changed, let us know that we're a country that does life imprisonment. Take it off the books. Some are not ready for that conversation. Others are. I think we're going to go to the streets and hear what Nigerians have to say about the death penalty. I know the fear. You can see it when you follow things in like a place like the U.S. I follow the Innocence Project. People in jail for years, and you later find out that they're innocent. And the thought is that you will hold off on death, even if it means you save only one innocent man. But in a society like ours, I don't know, because when you look at the brutality of this crime,
the brutality,
6 children who likely knew you.
Even before me, I would want some kind of psychological evaluation. You know,
what will that do for you?
Tolu said something. Tolu said something when we started the show.
You know, we said something.
Tolu said, when I saw his eyes,
he looks like he has no soul left in him.
So, but you see, the problem I have with us in this side of Africa is that this kind of person that is so quick and swift to commit such a terrible, heinous crime, we really need to ask some questions, maybe from a psychiatrist, to know how his brain is wired.
Then again, you know, it's a syndicate.
Look at them.
So it's a syndicate. So probably there is a mastermind.
The one on the left, yes.
There's a mastermind that drops dossiers for them and say, okay, this week, this is your target, this is what
do you think so?
If those things are done, then we need to know if this is, you know, there are many kinds of killing. Remember when we talked about this, some stories early last year or 2 years ago,
that we have
where we said that there are serial killers in Nigeria, but many times they are undocumented.
Yes.
And we just call everything ritual. We need to know what, because if this is ritual killing, we need to know that it's ritual killing. If there are other things that is driving them, we need to know.
There's a bigger conversation to this, because even the father says, listen, get it over and done with, my son, because I don't want a politician tomorrow to come and...
I wanted us to get to that point.
Do you understand what I mean?
That is such a very specific, very suspect statement to make. For the father to say, I don't want a politician to come and intervene. Is that what has been happening?
It's a syndicate. I keep saying it's a syndicate, meaning that they might have dossiers. This week, this is where we're going to, and it's easy. Because young men have ginger. They want to have a sense of you're doing something that contributes to you or makes you feel kind of empowered. Then there has to be something that gives, like a financial reward. You can't be killing just because you're happy.
That's why I'm saying
people see that is our mind.
People kill for the
because they enjoy it. You know, in some of the things, conversations we've been having lately, I've been saying, if we try to make sense of it with our quote-unquote logical minds, with the understanding we have of things, we cannot ever make sense of it. And I think Nigerians, and even just generally, we need to accept that sometimes we're going to hear people do some things, we're going to see some things happen that if we try to make sense of it, they defy logic. They defy reasonable understanding.
We need a psychologist.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want them to just quickly go and execute them, because if this is ritual motivated, that means it's a syndicate. These boys are just pawns. We need, remember when it was happening, remember Ibadan?
Yes.
That these boys were just killing people and they were selling their body parts. That is a separate kind of conversation. Because if we don't if this is just, I'm a serial killer, I'm a crazy person, we establish that. But if they are working for people or they are doing these things for some reason,
but there's a show I love. I can't remember the name. It's on the tip of my tongue, but it talks about
criminal minds?
No, even more than that. It talks about how the FBI sets up in the 1970s, how the FBI sets up their criminal profiling unit, and how so many people did not believe in the profiling of criminals. They didn't believe that. What are you looking for? That people have trauma that leads to certain things, and you know you have family, and they start piecing it together apart. Family annihilators, and all those kind of things. And I just wonder what we do, because all of those things are different from clime to clime. We need to start understanding. Lolo talks about drugs, so there's a psychotropic or narcotic angle to it. There's trauma, and none of it justifies. But as a society, we need to start having our own data about these things. But we continue to hide our heads in the sand. We don't want to have conversations about it. It's like as long as we don't think about it and acknowledge it, we can just put it away. It'll just be, you know, those things that are just at the back of your peripheral vision, but you can just ignore them because you don't focus on them. No, because he's just one of many. We can't look away. It's not just one. These are 3 people, and they belong to like two age demographic. Somebody was 40. What was he doing from 20 to 40 before he hooked up with these boys? You would know that these people, there must be a common denominator. It's either they're unemployed, uneducated. They just, people that just roam about the street, and maybe he already has some psychotic issues that he hates women. Maybe he hates his mother or he hates his stepmother, and so he projects that on every woman that he comes in contact with. So we need to get some answers before, even if they're going to execute them, whatever sentence they want to carry out. And we really need better databases and profiling of these people, so that we're not just lumping everything under ritual killings and just letting it go like that. Or spiritual issues. We'll continue to follow this story, given now that the Emir of Kano, Sanusi, has stepped into it. And of course, we will be talking to Nigerians to find out what they think about the death penalty. In 2026, is there still a place for the death penalty in Nigeria? But we'll take a short break now, and when we return, Olusesan Okunade, chartered accountant and policy and public affairs analyst, joins us to give more insight into Nigeria's new tax laws and what they mean for you and me. This is a continuation of our conversation from last week. Please stay with us. Jasiri returns after the break.
You're welcome back to Jasiri. They say 2 things in life are guaranteed: death and taxes. In Nigeria, taxes have dominated the conversation since one of the most important shifts in Nigeria's economic policy in decades, the overhaul of the nation's tax laws. This reform consolidates the country's policy, modernizes how taxes are administered, broadens who is captured in the tax net, and introduces new obligations for individuals, businesses, and digital actors alike. So, from how disputes are handled to what gets taxed in the digital economy, and a major institutional change in how Nigeria collects taxes, it's not just about law changes on paper, it's about everyday Nigerians, the startups, the freelancers, investors, and policymakers trying to make sense of a transformed fiscal landscape. So, Olusesan Okunade is a chartered accountant, policy and public affairs analyst. He's back at the table with us. Just it's good to have you back. Thank you for joining us on Jasiri today. Good morning.
Good morning. Are you ready for this?
We started it last week.
Yeah, it's a lot to get through. Yeah. But funny enough, I hope we're able to get through, because this week we're also talking about digital assets, and we're also talking about content creators. Are you guys ready? But if you have questions, please, there's going to be a WhatsApp number on the screen. You can send in your questions or whatever areas you need clarity on. So now, under the Nigerian Tax Act of 2025, once you receive a tax assessment from the Nigeria Revenue Service, you now have 30 days to object or pay. This change is central to the government's effort to speed up tax collection, but it also shifts a lot of responsibility onto taxpayers, including freelancers, remote workers, and informal sector participants who may be encountering formal tax assessments for the first time. So, Olusesan, let's start from there. What exactly does the 30-day objection rule mean for taxpayers, especially when it comes to those who are freelancing, informal workers, who may not be used to the formal tax assessment? I am not used to it. I don't have a tax ID. I know last year, Lagos State, I think it was Lagos State, sent me my Kinika or something. So now that there's a lot more responsibility on me to do self-assessment and self-pay, we're going to have some issues.
Not only you, a lot of us.
Yes. Okay, first and foremost, I think the area where we need to first lay the foundation is for you to have understanding of your daily transactions and keep track of some of these activities. When it comes to self-assessment, the government is not going to present a liability to you. You are to do your self-assessment of this is what it looks like as an individual that I've actually carried out in the course of the year. And that you get a form from the State Internal Revenue Service. This, we are speaking to the personal income tax, where individuals need to make their remittances to the subnational. So you get your form, is it A1 or A4 from the State Internal Revenue Services, and you are able to complete. These are things that you will do. I think for Lagos State, it's an online process where you complete all the processes. But there is something where it will lead to this issue of you having issue with the tax authority. You've been able to put your position in place. The same way there is a trust gap between with the citizen and the government is the same way the tax administrator is having that trust gap, that you will not make full disclosure of every activities because of certain things like, if I pay the full tax, are they going to do what I'm actually doing? I pay my water bill, I pay my everything. Government are not doing what is expected. So the tax administrator at the back of their app already have that information with them. And that's why a lot of people now ask the question, you want to go into my account and debit and collect money from it. No. What they are going to do is now to have activities, and it's not for everybody. There are a lot of people out there that their lifestyle would definitely, showcase to the tax administrator, because truth be told, the current capacity we have cannot follow everybody. That is actually there. But you cannot come up to say that as an individual, you are using a 2025, Lexus, let me put it, 460 or the latest 2025 vehicle, and you work for an organization. It is not your official car. You procure that particular vehicle of an over 100 million for yourself. And the question is, when they looked at the remittances being made on your part, it's just your pay that we are saying, and we know that your official vehicle is a Toyota Corolla. Is it not enough if you are on the other side, not a taxpayer now, as an administrator, seated on the other side? Won't that give you an inclination to ask questions on what is the source of this particular vehicle that you're actually using? We need to know, okay, it's a gift from someone to you. It's good. That means you have actually put an explanation on the part of saying, I did not procure this. It was given to me by Tolu as a gift for the good work. So the thing we need to understand out there now is the lifestyle you live must definitely augment what should be remitted to the government on their part. I don't want to go to the aspect of saying, if I pay the tax, are they using it? No, but you have actually shown to us that this is who you are. And we must be able to, so we can't compare you with somebody who is earning, possibly your tax liability or your assessment at the end of the year is like, let's say 500,000. And we have another person who is earning payee and pay the same amount. But when we looked at the two accounts, you can't juxtapose the reason why you should be paying the same amount of money. So a lot of people out there who live that flamboyant life, let me put that word, it's enough for you to live it, showcase it, let people know, but be ready to account for it when it comes to you coming even to the government. And that is an area where we say it is not, they will tell you that a lot of people will come up and tell you people are living fake life. It is not about fake life. Are you able to defend that which you have? You don't just go out and showcase to the whole world that this is who I am when you are not meeting up. If you are borrow a loan to sustain that, we want to know. So that we know that, okay, it is.
So it's just full disclosure.
This one is like you are really discouraging fake life. Because fake life can actually put you in trouble.
But people overseas, do they live fake life? They don't. People who have so much money will stay in a room or apartment because there is no need for it. A lot of people are putting up structure, duplexes, and they are just single person without renting it out. You have the capacity to do that. What stops you if you want to rent it out and allow other people, possibly at an affordable rate, where you get relief from the government?
Okay.
You know, this conversation, I doubt people will keep doing
end it today.
Exactly. Let's look at the online and let's look at offline, because there are different ways people earn. There are digital people now that earn money online. Nigerians have been asking questions. Just recently, it was trending that one of the ways to avoid being taxed was having some certain types of narration when you do a transfer. Is there any truth to this claim, or is it another misconception on how the new tax system works, or that narration matter? Because it happened to me this week. I sent money to someone, and the person actually was in a panic. That I did not write the gift in the narration, that they will come and check these papers. I'm like, no. Mr. Cheso told us last week that narration does not matter.
And they're not coming into
your personal account to look at it.
First and foremost, I will say that for proper documentation, like I explained last week, you can have narration to anything you're doing. What that depicts is that at the end of the month, you want to download your statement of account. You have understanding what have I used all this money for, and be able to have proper books to keep for yourself. That even as individual, because you know, in corporate organization, I said it last time, you don't just dish out money without having the right narrative. But we are bringing that into individual life. But the person they are sending the money to, whether there is narration or there is no narration, what will first catch the attention of a tax pay administrator to you is the quantum of the money that we're talking about.
Okay.
Excuse me, will I want to run after somebody that you are sending 50,000 to 100,000? Cumulate everything together. You have not even sent the person up to $1 million in a particular year.
Looking at, for example,
so even under the law, such person is exempted. Assuming that cumulates. Take, for example, possibly somebody working with you as this support staff at home, and you are paying the person 50,000 every month without putting narration. To that person is an income. You and I know that. But will the person be taxed at the end of the year? The answer is no, because cumulatively, the total income for that person is less than 800,000 that has been exempted, even from paying taxes. If the person is earning as much as 100,000 in a year, there are reliefs that person is going to enjoy from you. So whether you put narration or you don't put narration, what will first attract the tax administrator to you is the volume. You cannot send 10 million to someone and you are not putting narration.
Okay.
Somebody asked me that the chairman, the chairman tax committee was saying they will start taxing those people that are into commercial sex tax activity. I said, Sheson, does that make sense to you? I said, the question there is that when you talked about income, service is being offered, consideration is being put into place. If that is his main stream of income that we know, if somebody is asking you, the taxpayer, like we said, 500,000 is sent to you into your account. I'm not putting narration, and every day I keep seeing 500, 800, 1 million. At the end of the month, you have cumulative over 30 million. Is that not an income? Somebody is saying, but that is immoral.
All right, Cheson, let me interrupt you here.
Where we just have to do that.
You're watching Jasiri. God help us, we end this conversation today. You're watching Jasiri. When we return, we are going to be talking more about digital content creators and if they fit the tax bracket as well. Jesus help us. We'll be right back.
Now, for the first time, Nigeria's tax laws explicitly bring digital assets, including cryptocurrency, trading, transfers, mining, staking, and other related activities into the formal tax framework. Now, under the new regime, income or gains from these digital activities are recognized and treated as taxable economic activity. This formalization is a major policy shift, signaling that digital finance, crypto markets, and other non-traditional economic actors are no longer outside the tax system. But it also raises questions about complexity, enforcement, and the future of innovation in Nigeria's fintech ecosystem. Olusesan, let's look at that. But before that, you know the example you were making about prostitution and wanting to tax the services being rendered and being paid for. I almost feel like it's a part of the crypto conversation, because don't we still have a crypto ban in place?
Yeah, you know this.
So how do you want to ban something? How do you want to tax something that you have banned?
You know, the issue of whether it's banned or not banned, people are settling down. Crypto has come to stay.
Yes.
And a lot of people are cashing out on it.
I think we're one of the top 5 markets globally.
Globally.
Yeah.
And government has realized that the last administration is part of the problem that we faced with some of the people at the helm of affair. There is no think through of certain things before you make the pronouncement. If you don't have understanding of it, approach those that have understanding. As at then, I had a friend who was actually into crypto, creating, carrying out training outside the shore of this country. You know Nigerians, when we are committed to something, we give our best to it. Yeah. The guy have understanding of it. He was training people. They were inviting him out of this country to come and train on it. And so at that period, the central bank came and said, nothing like crypto. Any bank that does that, we are going to do. And the guy was just laughing that people are actually cashing out. But I think I cannot say affirmatively. Yeah. But I think there is a retract on that particular thing, and that's why the issue of taxing, the digital assets and crypto and the other are coming into space, because the government is stepping up their game to get involved in the activities that goes on in that space, where a lot of dollars are being exchanged on daily basis. Billions of dollars are exchanged. But don't forget one thing. A lot of people are getting the misconception about this issue of taxing. Nobody is going to tax the capital or your investment in anything. Taxes are always on the profits that you made on that particular transaction. So if at a particular time, even in the digital asset, you invested 1 million. And after a specific time, what we can see is that it has generated 300,000 additions. So you're having about 1.3 million. Nobody is going to tax your 1.3 million. What you are to be taxed is on the 300,000, which is assumed as the margin or the profit that you have actually made. Are there relief that you're expected to enjoy on that particular thing? They are out there. Your NHIS, your consolidated REIT relief, and the likes. Make those relief and come out with the actual that it's supposed to be taxed. But a lot of people are getting it wrong to say, no, if I invest 1 billion, government are after me. No, there are times that some of this investment goes the other way around. Yeah. Nobody will come after and say we want to tax the 1 billion that you have actually, because government itself are inclined to that aspect of saying this is what taxes is all about. And our viewers need to understand, nobody is going to tax your capital, but they have an underlying understanding that people go about document to work so that, because they know that losses are not going to be taxed, it is profit. Let's work towards having losses in our account, forgetting that the thing you're trying to hide now is in the hands of the taxpayer, because all they need to do at the click of a button, have access to every of your transaction, either as individual or as a corporate organization, I'll be able to bring before you, this is what we see from those things that we have actually drawn. Can you provide explanation? And that's what will take us to that aspect of saying, okay, now you have 30 days to object this that we have actually, because you have submitted. And we are objecting to say no. So you have 30 days. So 30 days is considered as a window to say, no, what you have put across to me is to say this A, B, C, D. These are the explanation to it. Put it because even the tax authority has a window at which they must respond whether they are in line with what you have actually submitted to them, so that we can bring that to rest within the shortest possible time. So people must understand the fact that a lot of people on the social media space earn so much income, passive income, that a lot of people do not even have understanding about. So whether it is your direct Naira account, your DOM account, I'm sure you know there is no account that is being opened as we speak without you having your NIN and BVN.
Yeah.
So with the NIN, all we need to do is that Olusesan Okunade, they have my NIN number that will definitely generate my TIN number, and just input what is his status. We just saw that he just acquired a property somewhere. God. What does he look like? Okay, this property is born out of his hard work. And how much has he remitted on his
This
part?
question came in on WhatsApp. So on the personal income tax, how does an artisan who is operating a venture go about the new tax? Where to start from, where to go for documentation? Is it from the bank or where? Please clarify. And also, how do I file for the month with no work at the moment, not earned in a month?
If you are not earning income, tax is not coming to you. There is nobody that is going. We are not going to tax that your non-availability of providing for yourself. If you have a business venture, if it is an enterprise, you align with the subnational, the State Internal Revenue Service. Use your CAC registration, because when you register a venture, whether limited liability or enterprise, you have your CAC number that is there. Use it to generate your tax ID. Get involved with the subnational, because we consider that as a non-limited liability company. If you are a limited liability company, your responsibility is to the Nigerian Revenue Services, who is the former Federal Inland Revenue Service.
Yes, we'll get to that too.
You know, make that allusion known. Keep your records. For those organizations who operate, limited liability company and are below 100 million, all you need to do is you make your return on monthly, your VAT return on monthly basis of activities, and at the end of the year you consolidate your report and say this is how much we have actually done. Make your remittances as due to you. If you are because you are under 100 million, it's just a nil report that you'll be provided. But the revenue authority need to have hands-on information of the transactions that you're actually carrying on, to actually excuse you of actually being within the bracket of the 100 million. So it's more of what we consider. I'm speaking as a professional. So no, transparency on the part of business owner to the government.
Yes.
On the reverse aspect, is a discussion for every one of us.
So, but on this thing you're saying, I'm just thinking about it. He's an artisan. He's probably somewhere, maybe on the side of the road, or maybe in a small enclave.
That is an informal sector.
In an informal, I'm expecting to see them come out to them. Find out, okay, go out, the same way you have telcos when they want to do activation. I'm expecting to see the NRS go out and do activation for people in the markets on the informal level.
Thank you very much.
Go to the market leaders like 2 or 3 days before. Tell them we're coming. Tell people to bring their information. We're going stall to stall, shop to shop, area to area, helping people to register, showing them the way in their local languages and whatever, and you're keeping up. I don't understand.
Tolu, I have this to say, possibly because of my the nature of my activities with some of these subnationals. I'll give kudos to some of these executive chairmen that we have at our subnational, Lagos State Internal Revenue Service, and all other subnationals that we have. The awareness may not be 100%. The director of informal sector and special duty in Lagos, under the LRS purview, I always engage and say, I don't even know that you can speak Yoruba like this. Because part of the things they have done is to engage the heads of some of these markets, the artisans. They go directly to them. Because one thing is sure, they will not even listen to you, because they are looking at you. This is somebody that is phonetics, is Yoruba, we can't understand. but you go to their head, they believe more in those their heads. The grammar they will speak to them. If you are able to win the heart of those ones and explain to them some of the importance of the things that they stand to benefit by paying those things, they will listen. And what we've seen them done in time past, my closeness to LRS, is to see them, they have department, the informal department that goes out there to the market space. I've seen them in Aspanda, I've seen them in the Idumota market, I've seen them go all out, and I've seen in other subnational, I've engaged the Enugu State Internal Revenue Chairman, and he spoke so much. In fact, he was actually of the opinion that even the Agberos collecting money, there are ways they are now consolidated to say, okay, we are not taking your business, but this money is not yours. If you are going to take any tax, any levy, it is the duty of the government. If you collect on our behalf, we have to collect from you. But you know, it's a tall order that they have to move. So I think the subnational are moving out there. It's a wake-up call, and I know a lot of them are actually listening. My institute is also engaging them on monthly basis to expose people to things that they need to know. Part of it was what I said last year. Most organizations are not aware that they are supposed to make the obligation of annual tax return to the subnational on the payee.
Olusesan, you have to hold on. We have another break. Well, because Lola said it's unlimited. We have so many questions left. But let's get to a break, and when we come back, let's really quickly pick at content creators, and then that move from FIRS to NRS. Is it a rose by any other name? Is still a rose? Let's find out. We promised you something for content creators, and here it is. They are another segment of people who are becoming official taxpayers for the first time. Now, Nigeria's new act brings content creators, influencers, and online earners into the tax net, treating their revenue, such as brand deals, ad income, digital sales, as taxable personal income, with the system requiring self-assessment and a strict 30-day window for objections after assessment. And this affects many for the first time this year and requires better record keeping for deductions and compliance. So, Olusesan, I'm quite curious. Why now? Why is the government deciding this is the time? It's time. Let me go to Mariah Carey for you guys.
It's not time, and I think a lot of people have actually said they've enjoyed the largest up till now. That's why some of us are actually, coming in support of this new tax law. Before we had this new tax law, Tolu, the last time we had, talking about the tax law itself, over 2 decades. We came with modification, introducing the Finance Act 2019-2020 to see how we can modify some of those things. But as it is, it came to and I will speak to this. Majority of the content creator you're talking about, the ambassadors, brought the attention to themselves. Are you saying
that they should do everything in silent?
There is no how you can do anything.
Exactly.
There is no how you can do anything.
Online, you cannot do anything codedly.
You can't do it codedly.
But they also
part of the
too much. Yeah, they're too loud.
You just took that.
They're too loud.
Behind the scene, we're discussing issue about fake
brand deals. Up and down.
Brand deal. An organization is telling you that we are engaging you as an ambassador with 50 million, and it's only 5 million they are going to pay. Yeah. And you are admitting all because you want to feel big. When you declare that, a taxman is after that pronouncement you are making outside, because it's not coming from any other person.
Let's take it a step further then. How about those who are making big numbers and big sales in theaters, in movie theaters, for example?
They cannot escape.
Do you understand?
Are you saying we made over $1 million? Whose movies grossed over $2 million?
Do you understand what then happens? Because they have to put it out there as a selling strategy.
Yeah.
It's a selling strategy. The question is, are you earning? Is that a margin on your investment? Don't forget what we said. A lot of people, you can come about to say 2 billion, 3 billion, 10 billion.
Move all of
but we need certain clarification. Now, those are the things you bring before us. Okay, This 2 billion you are talking about, these are my expenses, production expenses that we are going to. At the end of it, this income you see me earn out of the 2 billion is only 300,000 naira. That is my margin.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, before the tax authority justify that it is, so all those expenses are now going to be put, we're going to put evidence. There are documentation. And that's why we tell a lot of people now, it's important for you when you make certain purchases to have receipts, invoices, to support your submission.
With the throwaway receipts now,
no, but it's also important for businesses to also provide.
You ask them. A lot of people get invoices and just trash it.
Yes.
How do you substantiate that those things have actually happened? You see, for organization, they will not trash because there are input taxes, there are output taxes. Same is obtainable for some of us who carry out small businesses. You should be able to substantiate some of those things. So when you have a deal, an art deal, it is not enough for you to say, please help me make it in quote 100 billion naira deal because you want to show to the other party this is the status of your. It's good. Give us the status. As tax administrators, we are actually coming to say that sustain this life. So it's enough for us. Those people that live outside the shore of this country, do they live the kind of fake life that we live? Somebody that cannot
Olusesan, please. They're telling us we have to go, but there's a very important question we need to take. We moved from FRS now to the Nigeria Revenue Service. So some people are saying that this is going to help improve efficiency, transparency, and engagement with taxpayers. I don't know about changing name. And others say that centralization without clear safeguards and better public education can be a problem. In just 1 minute, what is the significance of replacing the FRS with the Nigeria Revenue Service? Is it structured differently? Are there advantages?
The structure is not going to be different. FRS is known to be specific in the area of collecting taxes. The Nigerian Revenue Service is now consolidating all the revenue arm of the government into just one. So the essence of this is this multiplicity of levies and taxes. You know, you're having this, custom is charging you this. Now everything is consolidated. You might see all other arms being a directorate under the revenue. So a directorate cannot be issuing out levies or taxes without the approval of the central man who coordinate all those things. And those things are part of the plus we consider, because you can imagine organization pay diverse levies and taxes. That is just changing the nomenclature, exploiting people. But with this, you are consolidating everything into the Nigerian Revenue Services so that you can have a direction. So when somebody is coming from this aspect, you can write the NRS. So you are not writing the custom. You are writing the NRS who is supposed to have that revenue agency under them, providing response to that particular.
So you are not done. I'm sure you are not done for the next 6 months to 1 year, because we will constantly call you when we need more enlightenment. I'm sure a lot of you today, you have learned a little more because we're breaking it down, in simple forms. But not to worry, we'll be right back on this table again tomorrow with another very interesting discussion.
Nigerian Patient Bill of Rights.
Yes, so
tomorrow, find out your rights when it comes to medical personnel. It's an interesting conversation.
Just one.